Hello, good morning to everyone. So let's have our daily briefing for today. And let's take a look on what happened on some data last night. So first things, we have the interest rate decision for Australia. So the previous and the market forecast, 7.10%, and the release time, 12:30. And for the actual data, the RBA, or the Reserve Bank of Australia, leaves the interest rate unchanged at 0.10%. So right here on the Aussie dollar on the 1 hour chart, so from 0.7440 all the way down, all the way up to 0.7470. So the price goes up to 7 or almost 30 pips after the release. But however, the whole trading session for the Aussie dollar yesterday was on the bearish side right here. So as we all know, the Australia or the country is still continuing to battle the COVID-19 pandemic. But based on the RBA statement after the interest rate decision, the statement by Philip Lowe, he said that the Central Bank of Australia will not increase their cash rate, not unless their inflation rate is sustainable to 2 or 3%. So if we are going to talk about their inflation rate, if we base it on the yearly basis and monthly basis, the average is 1.75%, which is not their target for about 2 or 3%. So that is why for the next few months, if they're going to release the interest rate decision, we have to check on the inflation rate if they meet the target of 2 or 3%. But if it's lower than 2 or 3%, then we can expect that the initial reaction or the market reaction for the whole session will be the same with this one. And the next thing is we have the economic sentiment for Germany. So the previous data was 40.4 and the market forecast at 30.2. And for the release time yesterday, 5 p.m. And for the actual data, it was lower comparing on the forecast at 26.5. But however, this one did not create any significant effect, especially on the euro dollar. And for our economic data today, for the Asian session and then the European session, there's no data. But for the US session, we have to focus on the interest rate decision and then the rate statement for Bank of Canada and the PMI data as well, and followed by the JOLTS job openings for US. So both data will be released later at 10 p.m. And for our key product for today, we have the USD against the CAD. So obviously, we've been monitoring this one for 2 weeks now. And right here, the dollar loonie goes higher last night due to the strong dollar index. But later, the Bank of Canada will have their monthly interest rate decision, which is expected to leave the rates unchanged at 0.25%. Okay. So right here, I'll just show you an interesting figures right here. So for 2 weeks, as I've mentioned, we've been monitoring the 1.27 to 1.28 territory. So any bearish tone for the BOC later, so it may drive the direction of the USDCAD on the upside. So possibly it may go up to 1.27, but still far from that level, right? So the current price is around the 1.26 territory, but any reaction for the price to go up right here, this one is a good selling position or selling setup right here. But also another concern for the Canada is their growth rates or their GDP for the past quarters. So if we're going to pay attention on the growth rates last year for Canada, we did not see any momentum on the upside. So it's been decelerated right here. So the first quarter down, second quarter, and all the way to fourth quarter. But right here on the first quarter of the year 2021, it's just a slight difference from the fourth quarter right here. But the main problem here is, are they going to maintain the GDP growth rate for the second quarter? Because if the end of the third quarter, they did not beat the expectations right here, it's definitely bad for the Canada, or to be specific, on their GDP. But another concern as well for CAD is the decline of the demand of oil. So the past few weeks, the price of oil is on the downside due to some restrictions over the Delta variant and lack of buyers as well. So definitely it will affect the CAD if the price of oil goes down. But for the weekly support and resistance, we can look for 1.2496 and 2458, and resistance 1.2618 and 2656. Again, later at 10 p.m., we have interest rate statement, and then PMI data and the JOLTS job openings for US. All right, so that's all for our daily briefing today. Thank you everyone for joining. Please stay safe and have a great day.